Hello, this is Virtualis with a new channel, The Adventures of a Chess Noob. Today I'm going to talk about a wild game I played earlier today using the Vienna system. I always love playing the Vienna. You get these wild games that are quite exciting with sort of great big attacks. I'm currently rated about 1200 on chess.com, so really not really that good. But I play mostly for fun and as a way of relaxing at the end of the day, particularly after work. And this was a game I played after work. So, pretty lower levels of accuracy. That's what I usually find when I play, a really aggressive game using the Vienna. I did win this game as white, which is what I like. So let's go straight to the analysis. All right, so the Vienna starts with e4, e5, and then knight to c3. And often find opponents are a little bit confused immediately with this setup. The opponent here plays sort of the copycat system with knight to c6. Then I developed the bishop to f4, and they developed the corresponding bishop to f5. Now, immediately in this situation, you can punish the opponent by moving the queen out to g4 with an attack on the pawn on g7. That's what I did. The opponent here developed their other knight, which, as you can see, is automatically a blunder, natural looking move, but not good. Queen takes the pawn on g7 and already potentially in a winning position as long as you play correctly. Now, at this point, I'm pretty much exhausted. My sort of theoretical understanding of the Vienna down this line. So high risk of error. Opponent also at high risk of error, so you get these wild games potentially. Now the opponent defends that pawn with the rook to f8. Very important, otherwise potentially the next move, if the queen attacks and captures the pawn on f7, that is potentially checkmate. Nowhere for the king to go. At this point, move the pawn to d3, getting the nice line of pawns. The opponent now pushes and develops their knight to d4 with the attack on that pawn, forking the king and rook. Now, one of the things here, though, is potentially I know that in this position, it's potentially quite okay to lose the rook on a1. It's not doing anything anyway, and the opponent is, in fact, potentially just wasting moves. So I, at this point, really had no idea what I was supposed to do, so I thought I'd just develop my bishop to g5, attacking the knight there. But to be honest, I didn't really know what I was doing. Opponent captures, and I moved the king to d1. And pretty much at this point, I'm not particularly concerned with the capture of that rook, because once that rook is captured, the knight is pretty much out of the game, trapped because can't really escape without being captured. That rook wasn't doing anything anyway, so pretty much that just takes the opponent's knight out of the picture, which is fine. Again, at this point, I had no idea what I was doing. I considered pushing that knight further forward, or just capturing the knight. I didn't know what was better. In this case, I just captured the knight, thinking it was a more forcing move. The opponent retreat their bishop, which was apparently the best move. Again, I wasn't entirely sure what to do. I decided just to capture. Queen captures, and I thought here I had a potential attack on the queen. I was reasonably sure that queen move to c5 was not a good move. I saw this potential attack, which was fairly forcing. Now, at this point, there was actually a potential mate which I didn't see. So if the opponent didn't play carefully, the queen could capture the rook on f8, and that would, in fact, um, cover all possible escape squares for that king. I actually did not see that move, to be honest. The queen captures that pawn on f2, and at this point this would have been a mate in one. I have to admit I did not see it, and here I was not sure what to do. I thought maybe I could move the knight here to attack the queen, which is what I did. I really shouldn't play games at the end of a workday. Pretty good move, I suppose, by the opponent, but realistically I could just move the king out of the way, check again, move the king out of the way, and again, and at this point actually I did see the mate in one, and I was hoping that the opponent would get greedy, capture my other rook. Looks like he's captured both rooks, but of course that's no good. That's what the opponent did, and checkmate, GG. I love these games with the Vienna. They're just so dynamic and so much fun. Early checkmates by, in this case, move 17.